The creditor is at the door. Her husband is dead. And by law, his debt now belongs to her 2 sons. Not the money, the boys. Slavery clears the balance. She has days, maybe hours before they are taken. So she runs to the only man left who might help, the prophet. And he asks her one strange question. Not how much do you owe? He already knows it is more than she has. He asks, what do you have in the house? She laughs at the question. Almost nothing. 1 jar of oil, a scrap, a leftover, the kind of thing you overlook when you are counting what you have lost. But that 1 jar is about to become a business that pays a debt no one thought she could ever pay, and leaves her enough to live on for the rest of her life. This is the story of the widow and the oil, and inside it are 4 moves that turn a single overlooked asset into wealth. Borrowing, scaling, selling, and the quiet final move that keeps the money from destroying her. Move 3 is the one almost everyone gets wrong. Watch how she does not. Set the scene. This woman belonged to the company of the prophets, a kind of guild of holy men who lived simple, dependent lives. Her husband had served faithfully. He died and left her with nothing but a name, 2 sons, and a ledger written in red. In the ancient world, debt was not abstract. There was no bankruptcy, no fresh start. If you could not pay, your body and your children became the collateral. The creditor had every legal right to take the boys as bondservants until the debt was worked off, which could be never. So she does the one thing a desperate person can do. She seeks counsel from someone wiser, the prophet Elisha. Notice she does not ask for a handout. She does not ask Elisha to simply pay the debt, though he could have asked others. Instead, the prophet redirects her gaze. He turns her away from what she owes and toward what she owns. What do you have in the house? Her answer reveals her mindset. Nothing, she says, except a little oil. The word translated little suggests barely a flask, the dregs of the household, an asset so small she had mentally written it to 0. And that single sentence is the hinge of the entire story. She thought she had a debt problem. She actually had an asset she had stopped seeing. This is move number 1. Elisha tells her, go borrow vessels from all your neighbors, empty vessels. And do not gather just a few. The instruction is precise and it is strange. He does not tell her to find more oil. He tells her to find more containers. Empty ones. The principle is this. Before she scales the asset, she must first build the capacity to hold what the asset can become. The oil is the product. The borrowed jars are the infrastructure. And crucially, she does not own that infrastructure. She borrows it. The modern parallel is leverage in its cleanest form. The most resourceful operators rarely scale by buying everything outright. They borrow capacity, rented warehouses, cloud servers they do not own, distribution networks, manufacturing lines, other people's audiences and other people's shelves. Capital structured to expand what you have without first owning the means. The widow's jars are leverage with no interest and no risk, because the borrowed containers cost her nothing if the oil runs dry. So here is your question. What asset are you sitting on right now that you have not scaled? Not because you lack the product, but because you never went out and borrowed the empty vessels to hold its growth. This is move number 2. She goes home, shuts the door behind her and her sons, and begins to pour. From one small jar into vessel after vessel. And the oil keeps flowing. As fast as her sons can bring her empty containers, she fills them. The text is careful here. The oil does not stop on its own. It stops only when there are no more vessels to fill. The limit on her growth was never the asset. The limit was the number of containers she had been willing to gather. This is the law of scaling almost no one internalizes. A small thing, multiplied across enough containers, becomes a fortune. The same product, poured into more channels, more markets, more units, more customers. One recipe becomes a chain, one song becomes a catalog, one skill becomes a team that delivers it 1,000 times over. The asset did not change, the number of vessels did. And notice the discipline. She did this behind a closed door, quietly, without spectacle, until the work was done. So ask yourself honestly, is your income limited by your asset or by how few vessels you have bothered to fill? Because the oil in your hands may already be enough. You simply ran out of places to pour it before you ran out of oil. This is move number 3, and it is the one almost everyone gets wrong. The jars are full. The miracle has happened. And a lesser person stops right here. She has abundance now. She could keep it, admire it, feel rich for the first time in years. Full jars feel like wealth, but full jars are not money. They are inventory. So she goes back to the prophet, and he gives the final instruction. Go, sell the oil and pay your debt. Sell it, convert it. The miracle was not the point. The transaction was the point. This is where dreamers and builders divide. Anyone can create. Few can close the loop and turn what they created into cash that settles real obligations. Your product sitting in storage is not wealth. Your code unshipped, your manuscript unpublished, your inventory unsold, your skill unbilled. It is potential energy, and potential pays no creditor. The widow had to take her abundance to the market and let it leave her hands to become something that could actually save her sons. Liquidity is the move that completes the chain. So be brutally honest with yourself. How much oil are you hoarding right now in full jars, calling it success, when it has not yet been sold, shipped, or converted into the one thing that actually discharges your debts? This is move number 4, the move that protects everything the first 3 built. Elisha's full command was 2 sentences, not 1. Sell the oil and pay your debt. And then live, you and your sons, on the rest. Pay the debt first. The very first dollar of her windfall does not go to comfort or expansion or pride. It goes to clearing the obligation that threatened to enslave her children. Debt freed her family before anything else was allowed. Only after the creditor is paid does she live on what remains. This is the moral move, and it is the one that keeps wealth from becoming a new kind of bondage. Money that arrives without order destroys people. We have all watched windfalls ruin lives, lottery winners poorer in 3 years than before, founders who sold and then drowned. The widow's wisdom is sequence. First, free yourself and the people you are responsible for from the chains. Then, and only then, build a life on the surplus. Purpose protects the profit. The asset existed to liberate her household, not to feed her ego. So the question that decides whether your success blesses you or buries you is this. When your oil finally sells, what gets paid first? And who exactly are you trying to set free? So let us open the ledger one last time. She started with a debt that could enslave her sons and 1 overlooked jar of oil. Move 1, she borrowed the vessels, building capacity she did not own before she ever needed it. Move 2, she scaled, pouring the small asset into every container until the only limit was how many she had gathered. Move 3, the hardest, she sold, converting full jars into liquid cash because inventory never paid anyone's debt. And move 4, she paid first and lived on the rest, letting purpose protect the profit so the windfall freed her family instead of ruining it. 1 jar, a whole future. This is the ancient founders, where the oldest book becomes the boldest business school. Next, we open the vault on Naaman, the foreign general who almost lost his healing because he was too proud to do the small, unglamorous thing. Tell me in the comments, what is the 1 jar of oil you have been overlooking in your own house? Subscribe and keep building.